Let me know when you can see me and hear me, and we're going to get started. I can see you guys in the chat. Welcome in, everyone. Give this video a thumbs up as well so more people can find it. You know me so well, Rao. Yes, okay. So, you know how so this video is about putting people in their place when they're disrespecting you. You know when something's happened to you many times, and maybe some of you guys are like right in the middle of it. I know for me, this used to happen to me literally all the time. I haven't experienced this for many years, but the thing is that every time I'm talking to a client who is like right in the middle of it and they're like really experiencing this, I can't help but say this to myself. Like, oh my God, look at the pattern. Like, this is literally what I say to myself when this happens, when a client is telling me about this situation in their life, thinking it's only them. And my internal response is like, oh my God, that exact same thing has happened to me. And over the years that I've been, talking to you guys and discussing these like private, intimate things that before social media, we really didn't have a place to discuss this intimately. I started noticing like these very clear patterns in everyone's story that mimicked my own experience in this. And so today I wanted to shed some light into this. I've said this before, that when I have back-to-back clients that like bring up the same kind of story over and over again, I take that as a sign from the universe that I need to like get on here and talk about this, so that if you are experiencing this, then you know what to do, or at least you know that you are not alone. Hello, everyone. Hello. Okay, I assume that you can hear me and see me and everything's good. Someone said, I'm so excited to be here. I've watched most of your videos on playback, but so happy to be a part of my first live. Oh, welcome. I love it when you let me know that it's your first live. That is awesome. And of course, welcome everyone that's like coming to every live notification squad. So here's the thing. We've all had this experience, or many of us have this experience, where you have a family member, a friend, or you meet someone new, or maybe it's even a colleague, and they are really nice to you. And I've talked about before the difference between like sweet, kind, and nice is really the most dangerous one. Stay away from nice people, or at least like keep your eyes on them, because nice it always is tainted with this energy of like getting something back or having some kind of an effect on you that might not always be in your best interest. So they're really nice to you, and they're complimenting you, they're like doing things for you that you don't even want them to do. They're like all up in your life, like almost acting like they're your best friend. And then every so often, there's like this little thing that they throw at you that will like confuse you, leave you going, was that a backhanded comment? Did this person just throw shade? Like, WTF moment? And then right when they do that, they either back it up with just kidding, or they like don't say anything and then like immediately go back with like showering you with like affection, love, gifts, acts of service, doing things for you. And you do this double take of like, maybe it's just me, maybe I took it the wrong way, maybe I'm too sensitive, look how nice they are. And you go into this process of like justifying their behavior, and typically at your own expense. And then it's like good behavior, and then there it is again, right? They throw it in there at you again. I can't tell you, oh my God, I think in my like late teenage years, like early adulthood, all the way in my 20s, and like a little bit of my 30s as well, like these are the mostly the people that I was attracting, where I just never kind of knew where I stood with them. They were really like nice, and I wanted to like justify their bad behavior or these comments that they were making and these backhanded like compliments and things like that. But I never really like, to be quite honest with you, my thing was like, Mina, you're just being too sensitive. Like, they're so nice, right? But I want you to be really, really careful with these people, because as I look back at my entire journey, every single time I was no longer available for that, and like I let that person go, my life quantum leaped. Like, I am not over exaggerating when I say my life quantum leaped, because the energy that these people were like sucking out of my life, the confusion that they were causing in my own mind, the emotional energy attached to trying to figure out where I stood with them, were they my friend, were they not my friend, the justifications, the over explaining myself, it took up a lot more energy than I realized at that time. And so now, like being where I am now and looking back, and I haven't dealt with this for many years, I'm telling you, like I see the patterns, and when my clients come up to me and they're like, well, Mina, I've got this person that I'm dating, or, my friend, or this new person that I met, like there's always that same pattern of, I guess it's like, I don't like the word love bombing, and you've never heard me use this because typically it's used in relationships, but I'm gonna say people can do this in non-romantic relationships too, where they like throw all of these, and here's the number one thing that was common with all of these people. When they were nice, they were generally like over giving. They would do things for me that I didn't even want them to do, and there was always this energy of like, look what I'm doing for you. So they make it where you almost feel indebted to them. But as I look back in the entire journey, I'm like, I never freaking wanted you to do any of that stuff. In fact, sometimes someone else doing something for me that I didn't want them to do was a nuisance and a damn annoyance, but I had to deal with it because they're so nice, right? Just they're just being so nice, right? Like, just deal with it, Mina. But I want you to look out for these things as red flags, simply because, not even saying anything about these people, like maybe they've got good intentions, I don't freaking care. The point that I'm trying to make here is that when I let these people go, when I drop these people out of my life, it was like literally someone was laying down on the ground, holding my feet, like holding my like ankles down, where I couldn't move. And then the minute I like broke free, I could fly. I mean, I have exact examples with certain people that like, and I had this pattern of like attracting these people in my life, dealing with them, being their friend, them holding me back, letting them go after years, quantum leaping, and then attracting another one. So luckily this pattern, this generational curse has definitely been broken, and it hasn't happened for many years, but I couldn't stop myself from talking about this because I keep seeing you dealing with this. So it is not you. No, you are not being overly sensitive. You're not like, the one at fault here. You have to understand that this is just how these people function. And here's my little disclaimer that I'm gonna make. I can't tell you with 100% certainty that any of these people knew what they were doing. I think that they had this predatory side to them. Maybe it came from their own trauma, the saying, hurt people hurt people. Maybe they were hurting bad, but I'm not trying to open up an academy over here. Well, I do have an online university, but at that time in my life, I wasn't trying to open up a one-on-one academy and taking in a whole bunch of projects that were actually holding me back. The difference between those people and my students is that my students are actually growing with me. They're not holding me back, right? These people were sucking up. Like I remember when I had a blog way back in the day. It doesn't exist anymore, but way back in the day, I had written an article about, I think my father-in-law may have been the only one that read it at the time, but I wrote a whole article about like energy vampires. And that's what they were. They would just suck your energy, but it was all disguised as like look what I'm doing for you. You are so welcome. Like, even when I would be doing things for them, there would always be this energy where they would flip it and make it look like they were freaking doing me a favor. I remember later on in my life even discussing this with Irfan when we had gotten like, this was like few years in our marriage, and I was like, why does it happen to me that every time I'm helping someone else, because they talked me into it, first of all, they make it seem like they are doing me a favor. He's like, yeah, I've noticed that. So he's like, I've noticed that you have this pattern that you agree to doing things for people that you really don't want to do. And then they turn around and act like they were doing you a favor by letting them give you this money, or, you know, watch their kids when you don't want to, or whatever the thing was. So let me see what you guys are saying, and if this is something you resonate with, because it has been coming up in my coaching sessions and I couldn't stop myself from talking about it here. Yes, I've called them this before because I always feel drained once dealing with them. Yes, see, that's the biggest thing. I used to say, this person is so nice. Look how much they complimented me and look how nice they are. Why do I feel so exhausted after I spend time with them? Like, I would literally have headaches and feel like I needed to take a nap after hanging out with these people. Well, if they're so nice, I didn't know the answer back then, but I just kept saying, if, you know, they're so nice, why do I feel so exhausted after hanging out with them? My sister is like, I'm buying you shoes, but give me your earrings. Oh my goodness. Yes, I have a family member exactly like that. I'm glad to hear. I honestly thought I was just being too sensitive or picky. Yesterday I journaled about that, and today you come with this live divine download from the universe. You are not being picky. I can't tell you how many times I like talked myself into it by saying things like, Mina, you're just being so picky. You're so sensitive. Like, they're being so nice. Like, it is not you. And like I said, my little disclaimer, I can't tell you that it's like calculated from their point. Maybe some of these people, I can think of at least 2 people that it was very calculated. But some of these other people, I think they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know how they were showing up and their ulterior subconscious motivations. But I don't really care. I'm not trying to give them therapy. I don't want to be a part of it. Get yourself free. If it's a husband's family member, how do you just forget everything when you come home and be positive and happy? I work through it. So I dissolve my emotions. I don't believe in spiritually bypassing. My vibration is very important. My frequency is very important. I've created all of this with it, right? Like, my frequency is worth tens of millions of dollars. So I'm not gonna F with my frequency. I don't care who you are. Like, you know, if there is an effect on me, I'm gonna dissolve it, I'm gonna work through it, and then I'm going to make myself completely unavailable for that. So in the case that you're saying it's your husband's family, obviously you can't like shut off your husband's family. So you might see them, but you might be emotionally unavailable to be triggered because you already worked through the stuff. Now, there are things that you can do. There's boundaries that you can set, and a lot of them are energetic boundaries, to be honest with you, because there was, and this is so interesting because my husband and my oldest son, Armand, would always notice it before I noticed it. So when I would be like right in the middle of it and I would tell them about it, they would say, like, there would be this look on my husband's face or Armand's face that gave me the vibe that they weren't 100% seeing me as a victim, which was how I was presenting myself at the time. This is old, so this is like before the deeper inner work. So I was like positioning myself as a victim, and the vibe that I was getting was, yes, this person is predatory, but you are not a victim, you are participating. So when I started getting this kind of like energy feedback from them, I started asking them, I remember just saying something like, what, do you think it's my fault? Like, that's the energy that I felt. And both my son my oldest son and my husband gave me the same feedback. Well, when she said this, you did respond with this. Or every time she does this, you do say this, and then she does this, or you agree to it. And so I didn't want to hear that. It was like, I wanted to be positioned as the victim in this situation, but they said it enough times where it raised my own self-awareness. And so the next time I would be like right in the middle of it and it would be happening, I would say, like, what is my involvement in this whole thing? Could they be right that she plays me in this way, like gets the conversation to a certain place, and then I say XYZ. And by the way, tomorrow I'm teaching in Berkat Live and in Wifed. And in Wifed, lesson 2, I'm actually talking about how men do this, predator men do this in relationships. Because right off the bat, as we have women looking to get wifed up in 2023, I want to make it really, really clear that who the predators are and exactly how they position themselves. So it's quite an interesting psychology. Now, predators do this very deliberately, intentionally. They know exactly what they're doing. But like I said, with some of the people that I'm talking about, with the exception of 2 of them, I don't think they knew. This is just how they had learned to cope with relationships, by being very manipulative in this way. And that's how they navigated their relationships and friendships. Kabibi said, had someone like this in my life for 20 plus years. Oh my gosh. Ooh, I feel like I need to grieve this for you and call them legacy friends, because if I met them today, I wouldn't hang out with them. Recently ended the relationship and burned the bridge. And sometimes that's how you have to do it. Like, ooh, 20 years. Whoa. How do you guys make more leveled up and ambitious friends? Do any of you struggle with outgoing friendships? So I literally just did a whole video on this, I think 2 videos back on my channel, on sisterhood and friendships. When you are at a certain level of inner work, they are magnetized to you. Like, I literally can't keep keep friends enough. Like, now I have to be super choosy because there isn't enough time, right? Like, I know how much time I want to invest in my relationships and my friendships so I can give my best. So, but there is a waiting room period when you're right in the middle of your inner work where a lot of people fall away, but you're not yet a complete vibrational match for the next level. So in my community, in my YouTube channel, in my courses, in my community, a lot of the women are making their real, true soulmate friends from the Facebook group chats, from the in-person intensives that I lead, from the Zoom meetings. So that's how it's happening in my world. Because what's happening with these girls is that they're all on the journey together. They might be living in different countries. They might be in different states, right? Like, I keep getting pictures from you guys, like, hey, look who I'm with. I met her in your so-and-so class and now we're vacationing together. Or she's coming to visit me. Or, you know, we met up on this trip. And so I love that. I love that because a lot of times these are the same people that were struggling before in the middle of their journey, being able to call in these next level friendships. So I'm super happy about that. I feel like I've been there for 6 years. Me right now, friend of 22 years, I just don't know how to shake her. I have tried. She is an energy vampire, a super nice one. They always are nice because if they want access to your neck, they have to be nice, right? They have to get inner circle access. That's how they get you. So they're always going to be nice, super nice, and nice is dangerous. You want people that are sweet and kind. You don't want people that are nice. Let me see what you guys are saying. Do you think these people are just bad eggs? Do they come from a completely different energy, time, space? Honestly, I've spent very little time psychoanalyzing them because I don't give a damn. If they want to do inner work, they know where to find me. I have free content on my YouTube channel. There's 1,000 other resources available out in the world if they don't want to work with me. That's their problem. Like, you know, my energy is available for my family, for my friends, and for my students and my clients. I don't care what's going on with them. It's not my problem. I've given them enough of my time and energy. This is just another way where they suck your energy, because even when they're not there, like, you're thinking about them, right? I have friends that will start out great and then they'll just switch up on me for no apparent reason. I've been doing inner work, but I can't pinpoint why. Yeah, a lot of times it's just that old energy that we have of overgiving, no boundaries, not knowing our worth, not activating our personal power. Here's another thing that I've learned. You guys know last year I launched and taught a course that I didn't want anyone to find out about. It's called the Savage Feminine course, and this was a course that was on my mind, like downloaded for a really long time, and I really just didn't want to teach it. It was literally my mother coming through, channeled information, and I struggled a lot in even teaching it. And I remember the first 2 classes, it wasn't even savage because I just couldn't even go there, because this information had been very much reserved for just like closed door family to family transmissions. I had never shared it with a non-blood family member. So eventually, with the help of my own students in that course, I was able to like fully channel my mom and like say the things that I would only say to my daughter, right? Like that would be reserved for sort of blood transmissions. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna say it. I did it, and then the university bundle students who have all of my courses, they've taken all of my courses many times, came with the feedback. They were like, Mina, it was your best course. Like, my university bundle students pouring in energy saying, Mina, that was the best, life-changing. It changed my life in this area and this area and this area, activate my personal power in my business, in my relationship with my kid, like everywhere. And since that course and the feedback that I've gotten from every single person that has taken this course, I've realized that if I truly, truly, truly want to help women, if I really want to help women, I have to activate that raw, real DNA, survival of the fittest, like savage energy. Whether it's a business client or a relationship client or a dating client or an inner work client, like, if I can do that, it's like so foundational. It's literally like the root chakra stuff. It's so foundational. And so what I've decided is, first of all, I'm thinking of relaunching that course. So make sure you're in my email list. It's linked in the description box. Make sure you're in there. I'm gonna also pin in the comments. Be on my email list because I'm gonna do something really fantastic and fabulous with that. The things that came out of my mouth in that course were so savage that there was a period where I closed the cart and wouldn't let anyone sign up. There was also a period where I was like, you know what, I should just delete the course. I should just accidentally delete the course, because what if I die and like my kids find it or my husband finds it? It's like so savage. And then I'm like, you know what? If something were to happen to me, my kids are exactly the people that I would want to have that information, right? No, I'm not gonna delete it. So I went through this roller coaster of emotions because it's that savage, it's that raw, but I've come to terms with it, I've processed it, and now I realize everyone needs this information, because you were supposed to get that blood transmission from your grandmother, from your aunts, from your cousins, from your sisters, from your mother. And I'm sorry you didn't, because maybe they were in fight or flight, maybe they didn't get the memo themselves. I don't know why, but for some reason you didn't get the memo, you didn't get the transmission. So I'm gonna have to be your mom and your grandma and your sister and your friend and your aunt and give it to you myself. But we all need that side of us, otherwise we will be deterred from our plans because people will keep taking advantage of us. So, you know, I send those people love. I hope they're doing well. I have no ill wishes, but I don't need to be involved in that. My mom passed away when I was 12, so this is appreciated. Oh my God, Trisha. Whew, that brought up a whole bunch of something in my chest right here. I'm just sending you love, and thank you for sharing that, because you are exactly the reason that I need to be able to say this stuff confidently and not have that thing triggered in me of like, this is too much, it's too savage. Like, there's no such thing as too savage when it comes to women, because we are all kind people, we're all good-hearted people, we all have big, open, expansive hearts. So, but we also need that part. Otherwise, people will rip that heart out of our chest and eat it and then say, you're welcome, I did you a favor. I'm so grateful for Mina's wisdom. I wish I had discovered it sooner. I'm so happy you're here now, babe. Oh my God, I was just thinking about, what if the download is savage? How do I speak that? I logged on and there you are. Savageness is the reason that Homo sapiens made the top 1% list, right? Like, we are in the VIP because we were savage. We didn't do this by being, nice and like, may I lay down on the puddle for you so you can walk over me. That's not how we got here, right? Yes, we have that kindness as part of our evolutionary history too, but we can't ignore the savage. Like, we need both. And I think a lot of us, healers and light workers, we want to tiptoe around the savage part because we just want to be love and light and butterflies and rainbows and bunnies. But yeah, okay, you're gonna get eaten if you're just a bunny, and people will walk all over you, and your species will literally die. Like, your genome will die, because we are the descendants of the most savage of the most savage. We are the descendants of the top 1% within the top 1% of the freaking savage. That's why you and I are here. So we can't forget that part of our genetic history. We just can't. My savage was killed. She died. I literally feel her awakening, and I'm scared, but I'm tired. Girl, you need that savage. In fact, I believe, and I've taught you guys this in my courses, that the savage comes from the spiritual side as well, because we're not over here trying not to learn our lessons and get, our energy sucked up. We're here to do literally life school. So that savage is where the boundaries come from. That savage is where we can be on our path. That savage is where we can stick with God and not get deterred into all kinds of evil. Boundaries keep predators away. Boundaries come from confidence. Confidence comes from inner work. Inner work comes from Mina. Oh my goodness, Diane, I absolutely love that. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Mina, that's it. Savage makes me feel bad for the one receiving it from me. Here's the thing. I'm as cutthroat savage as can be. I've had to be savage to get where I am today. Do you feel bad receiving this transmission from me? When you come to my in-person intensives, do you feel bad? Right? The feedback that I get is, oh my God, you're so loving. I can feel your warmth, right? You're the real deal. Like, this is the feedback that I get from the people that actually make the effort and like come to my in-person intensives and like meet my family and like do the inner, like in-person to person transmission. They don't feel bad because I'm savage. They feel safe with me because I'm savage. So I think sometimes we forget and we make up stories about the effect that it will have, but it actually has the opposite effect. Your children don't feel safe with you when you are a doormat. Your partner doesn't feel safe with you when you are a doormat. Your friends don't feel safe with you when you are a doormat. Like, boundaries are important, okay? They're the part that let other people know our value and how we value them as well. So always turn it around and see. So I believe that I'm super savage person, super savage. That's what it's taken for me to get here. I also have an open heart. I want all people on the planet to thrive. I'm a woman of God. Like, my entire life is dedicated to God's work, right? I have both. Because if I want to walk in God's path, I can't be entangling with predators. I just can't, right? Like, either I'm messing around with predators or I'm doing the thing that God designed me here to do. I'm gonna have to be really savage then, really savage, right? So turn it around and then you'll see that we actually feel safer with savage people. That's why we want our men the same way. We want our men with the light masculine energy and the dark masculine energy. Would you feel safe with a man that thought predators were cute and cuddly and we shouldn't do anything to them even if they're attacking you? Like, I don't know about you, but that doesn't make me feel safe. Is savage feminine the same as dark feminine? So the term dark feminine actually is not, I think it's called an oxymoron. Feminine energy is dark. It's the mystery, it's the cosmos, it's the darkness of the womb and the hiddenness of the ocean, right? So to say dark feminine is to say feminine feminine. So no, savage feminine is different. Dark feminine is just femininity. It's just what's the feminine. I know we all use this. I actually have a course which used to be called She Power, but it's called the Dark Feminine now. If you think you're not quite ready for savage, start with the Dark Feminine. But here's what I'm gonna say. I've had students that signed up for the Savage Feminine where I was like, oh my God, I wish that person hadn't signed up. They're so sweet and so kind, and they're gonna hear me saying all of these savage things. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Like, I would have this thing. And then I would get an email from them a few days later saying, oh my God, this course changed my life. So I'm like, oh, like my own best friend, Terry, signed up for it. And I was like, oh no, not her. And she's 69, by the way. And she was like, oh my God, I needed this course, right? She's a lot older than me. I would assume that when she signed up, I was like, oh my God, Terry's gonna see like the dark side, like the worst of the worst savage things that my mom had said to me that I transmitted. And she's like, I thank God that you created that course. That's why I decided not to delete it, because I'm like, every time I'm like, oh no, I can't believe that person. Like, by the way, I don't do this with all my courses. That's the only course that I was like watching like a hawk, because my mom was the most savage person that I have ever met. Oh my God. This woman was unreal savage, okay? So to channel her and then have these things coming out of my mouth was so outside of my comfort zone. However, as I was telling you guys in Rebirth, in the in-person intensive, there's more. Like, what if I told you that there was still stuff that I was literally holding back? And so that's why I'm planning on relaunching it. It's going to be my Valentine's Day, like savageness that I'm going to be sending via email. So if you're on my email list, you'll be getting all of that information. By the way, right now I have a offer going on 4 of my business courses. So if you use the code 2023 riches, one word, it's in the description box, you get 18% off the Feminine Business Mastermind, Lightworkers Intensive, Crystalline Course Creation, and Birth It Already Bish. Also, I'm currently enrolling for Divinely Sold, which is my sales training, and I'm adding more savage trainings in there too, because what I've learned after teaching the Savage Feminine is that women need savage in all areas of their life, right? So there's you, and then there's the goddess energy, and then there's just like savage energy. And what I've learned through teaching that course is that you need it in all areas of your life. I'm sorry, you just do, okay? It is like personal power on steroids. I need to channel my grandmother. She was super savage. See, that's why we all had that one super savage relative, because they were supposed to have transmitted this information to you. Mina, do you think more women waiting till marriage for sex would improve the standard for all women globally? 1000%. That's how it used to be. We're not doing anything new. We're just going back to the standards that we've forgotten. So absolutely. Mina, I heard my man tell his friend my girl is savage and it made my heart melt. I love it. Love that. Someone asked my description of savage. So what I would recommend is, if you're curious, get my course, because even my description is too savage for me to say on YouTube. Like, it's that kind of content that I'm not gonna put it on YouTube. I'm not gonna put it out here, okay? I might do it in like a watered down way, the way that I did it in this training. But the way that I've taught it in there, treat yourself to that. It will change your life. I promise the money will come back millions force, because there's so much that we unconsciously leave on the table in our self-worth, in monetary value, in blessings and romance and barakat and so many things, because we've lost our savage side. So trust me, you just need to get it. Let me see if it's listed. Yeah, it's listed in the description box. I'll see if I can try to grab it for you guys. Damn it, it's not coming through. Also, Millionaires Miami is happening in person on March 1st and 2nd. We have 22 people enrolled. I would absolutely love to have you. This is the most savage place that I've ever held it, like the most high end. It is me also coming out of my own container expansion for what kind of space I can hold you for. And this intensive and the Hawaii intensive and all future intensives will have a lot more savage energy to it. The area of my life where I'm at, I feel like I need to really activate the savage in you to give you the whole thing. I tell you, I keep growing, I keep learning, I keep expanding, and I feel like what my people are asking of me is to really give them the blood transmissions that I would give my daughter and my sister and my like blood relatives. They want that from me, because like we've established already, not all of you guys have someone that's willing to do that for you. So I'm going to go full on out of my comfort zone. In fact, I decided that if I can do this in Miami, it will actually make it a lot easier for me to be able to do it. So you know how on Zoom, it's with no audio, it's easier. On Zoom with video, it's a little bit harder. In person, it's even harder, right? Well, what if I ripped the Band-Aid off and went all savage on you? Here's why I can do it in Miami and I couldn't do it at Rebirth. Because Rebirth, again, it was open. I shared with you guys before where men were literally like magnetized to our room and our energy, and they were like stopping by and staring at us. Well, the way that Miami Intensive is set up, it's in a private wing of a 5-star resort. Like we have our own private elevator, we have our own private bathroom, like French doors, like 4 balconies, like no one can get to us. So because of that, I am going to unleash like all of the savage in Miami. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do it so savage that it just takes me out of the comfort zone. I'm gonna full on just take, like Sheena is the one that's gonna be delivering it. Sheena was my mom's nickname. That's what everyone called her, all of her loved one, all of her family. Like I'm just gonna channel Sheena all the way through. If my man pays for the course, does it show the universe guru? So we have a lot of men pay for courses for their wives, fiance, girlfriends, in-person intensives, all that kind of stuff. Yes, all of our stuff shows the Universe Guru LLC. Message my team. I can send you Irfan's something or another where it just shows up as Irfan's name and does not show up with my company name. So you can, or I can send you Armand's link. So I can make it work. Email my team. I'll send you either my son's payment options or Irfan's, and then that way they don't know what the hell they're paying for. We'll be savage and we'll figure it out. Can you share what's one way to connect with our savage side? That's in the course. I have many ways in there. I'm not going to be putting the savage trainings on YouTube. Here's why. There's a lot of people, a lot of very, very, very big influencers that follow me, as well as a lot of baby influencers. So I have influencers following me with millions of followers, with like big names. And a lot of these people are my students, my clients, but some of these people are very quiet and I don't know who they are. And I know from other sources that they are taking my content and teaching it, that's fine. The problem is that sometimes when you teach the savage content and you are not doing it with an open heart and with the disclaimers and the thing that I give in my courses, if they just take my stuff and repeat it in a very large audience, what we'll end up doing is we'll end up creating female predators rather than embodied divine feminine leaders who are also savage. So I feel that what I'm being told by God and the where I'm led is that this information doesn't need to go in the hands of predators. This information needs to go in the hands of good-hearted, open-hearted, honest, light workers, women like you and I, divine feminine leaders, mothers, wives, like honest citizens of our society and of our planet. So no, I'm not gonna be putting it out, because what's gonna happen is a lot of these larger YouTubers with millions of people following them will take my content, repeat it without the stuff that I tell you guys, without the inner work there, and then we're going to be breeding predators. And no, I'm not going to do that. That is not what I'm here to do. So I'm going to keep that information in my paid courses. And of course, they can always buy my paid course and do the same. And a lot of people do that kind of stuff. But at least I've done my part and given the appropriate disclaimers. And I know that they're at least in my field, in my grid, and being impacted by the inner work that comes with the whole thing. So I'm not going to be answering those questions here. Thank you for the super chat, Amber. She said, thank you for following your heart and making a difference. Thank you, babe. I really fully received that and appreciate that. Yes, Nikki, 1000%. The savage content is a good thing, but can be used for evil. Right now, currently, the savage content is being used for evil because the male and female predators have the savage content. The good people didn't get the downloads. So up until a certain amount time frame in society, everyone was getting the transmission, and then, sorry, that's the pet doorbell, and then the predators were using it for predatory things, and then at least the other people had the information and could counteract that. Well, a couple generations back, what happened was the predators kept transmitting the information, and the good-hearted, everyone else stopped. And so I'm trying to restore the balance here. I'm not trying to fuel, that thing. And so I don't mind people coming and learning from me and then teaching it to their audiences. That's fine. As long as they're actually doing their inner work and they're doing it out of integrity. So this content, I don't feel safe teaching it on YouTube and putting it in the wrong hands and just making the predators even stronger. Do you think your mother had any idea how impactful her teachings would be to the collective through you? I think she knows now. My God, the signs that I get from this woman, she is, so when she passed away, she was very much active in my life at that time, and I could feel her, I would smell her, I would hug her sweater that she gave me. That was the last time she ever visited my home. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get emotional. Whew. And I have that sweater and I would hug it. And so she was very much active. And then I got kind of busy in my life, and sorry, I'm getting emotional, but I lost that connection with her over the years. Of course, I kept teaching, and talking about her, but I couldn't sense her, I couldn't feel her. Lately, especially in this house, she is back full force, and she is insisting that I use my platform to teach this stuff. In fact, in the years before her death, she kept saying, you're going to be huge. By the way, I didn't even know about YouTube. I didn't have a blog at the time. I was literally like just a stay-at-home mom. And she was like, you're going to be huge. You were born to be a celebrity. People will follow you. You're going to make such an impact. And I would be like, you are nuts. First of all, I'm like 29, 30 over here. Like I'm like literally pregnant with my second child. Where on earth is someone gonna take me and turn me into some kind of a freaking celebrity or something, or an actress? Like, I thought she was nuts. And now I wonder, how the hell did she know? Like, she just knew. It's freaky. Like, when I sit down and I think about it, it's freaky. It's freaky. And then I have Alina walking around since she was 4 years old, actually even younger, saying things like, I'm your mom. I'm actually your mom. I used to be your mom. And I'm just like, you're freaking me out. And then she yells at me like she's my mom, and she puts me in my place like she's my mom. And so it's kind of freaky. So my mom's favorite flower was the sunflower. I've never shared this with you. So when I moved in to this house, I started smelling my mom again, and she started showing up in my dreams, and I started like really strongly feeling her presence. Like I would be sitting and I could see her from the like the side of my eye, and I would turn around, and obviously it wouldn't be her, but I could swear that I saw her. And I was telling Armand, who was my only child that remembers her or even saw her, I was like, I keep feeling mom. And he was like, oh my God, me too. And so I was like, she's coming, like she's really coming through strongly. So I said, Mom, if it's you, give me a strong sign where I cannot deny it. So that day I'm driving, and for the first time ever in my freaking life, I have never, ever, ever, ever seen a person on the side of the street freaking selling sunflowers. I've seen people selling water bottles. I've seen people selling newspapers. I've seen people selling roses. I've seen people selling all kinds of things. I've never, ever seen someone selling sunflowers. So I'm like, okay, that's odd. Okay, I see you, Sheena. But I'm like, that was probably a fluke. That can't be it, right? So then anyways, I'm driving, keep driving, and then I see a billboard that says the word sunflower on it. And I'm like, okay, weird. Okay, weird. Not gonna think anything of it. Mom, is that you? Weird. I go to my hair appointment, and my hairstylist is wearing this, it's one of those like long duster sweater things. Guess what it has on it? All over it, sunflowers. I'm like, okay, I've never seen this many sunflowers in my entire freaking life. So I'm like, hey babe, I've never seen you wearing that before. And she goes, yeah, I just bought it yesterday. And I'm like, I love it. That was my mom's favorite flower. And so anyways, this kept happening literally every single day for weeks on weeks on weeks. And I'm like, okay, stop it with the freaking sunflowers. I can never look at another sunflower ever again. I don't know why you love that flower. Stop it. I get it. You're here. Tell me what you need. Tell me what you need from me, like what's happening. I feel like you have a message. And then the savage feminine stuff and all of that stuff started happening. So yes, she's very much aware, and she didn't get to do the thing that she wanted to do on the platform level she wanted to. She did the savage thing. Trust me, she had a huge impact. Do you know that they had to close down several streets in Chicago when her funeral was happening? In fact, there were a lot of people that were asking if a celebrity had died in Chicago. That's how many people she had impacted. So she was huge in her own right, but she is now using me and my platform to say the things that she wanted to say. Wow, that's crazy how our moms show up in our lives all the time. Yes. I have never had these experiences of seeing a loved one. All I ever saw are demons and darkness. That's why I literally shut down my spiritual side. Ask to see the other side. Ask, okay, God, I'm ready. I want to see the other side. I'm so ready for it. Wow, this is giving me chills. This is amazing. I know, it was crazy. Here's the funny thing. My hairdresser never wore that dresser again. I've been with her for 6 months, 7 months, almost 8 months. She never wore it again. She only wore it that one day. Like, whatever happened to your duster? I have tears. Thank you, Winter. I had some experiences similar, but with my grandfather. Remember that these people literally invested their DNA in you. You think they're gonna just leave you alone now? Like fending for yourself, just figuring it out? No, like they invested their blood, sweat, tears, genes, DNA, like all of the things. So yes, they're going to be making sure, and not just your previous ancestors, their ancestors and their ancestors and their ancestors, because they all invested in you. You are like, they're living through you, right? Like their DNA is in you. So they're there supporting you. They're there guiding you. You are never by yourself. I believe my late mom led me to your channel to not make the same mistakes she did. Moms are still loving on us even after they're gone, leading us to the right things, right? So yes. Okay, so ladies, I do have to run for a Oh my God, I don't want to get into the story because I'm like right in the middle of it, but I have like this whole thing going on with the dentist. So anyways, I have to go for an appointment, like start getting ready and like literally leave now. All of my links are in the description box. 18% off 4 courses. Miami Millionaires is enrolling right now. So many things are happening. All of it in the description box. If you would please say a prayer for me. I have this like very traumatized experience with this one dentist long when because of that I neglected this thing I had to do. Long story short, this dentist said I was gonna die, and so I was like freaked out of getting this procedure done because I had very small babies, and I'm like, no, you're not allowed to die, you've got babies. And so I didn't have this procedure done. Now it's infected. Now I have to have an emergency procedure done. The dentist that Irfan has found now is freaking brilliant, amazing. I'm in good hands. My client, who is a dentist in a different state, has like my x-rays, like she's looked at everything. And I was like, babe, do I need to fly over to you? She's like, it's gonna be fine. You know, if you want to fly over, you can, but it's an emergency procedure. Just have it done. You're gonna be fine. So I'm going there, but I literally have been like working through the energy of this other thing that this dentist had said. So say a little prayer for me, send me the good energy. I feel like being here with you like calmed my nerves about this damn procedure. I'll be back in like an hour and be like, ha ha ha, I can't believe I was freaked out. So anyways, I'm gonna go do that now. I love you. Send me love. I love you. Bye.